How's it going, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of From a Dad's Perspective. This week, I want to kind of discuss, it's Thanksgiving week and, what we're thankful for and, you know, the things we take for granted, maybe, and hopes for the future. I don't know. I kind of wanted to go in this and just talk about the fact that, how I'm thankful that my dad's still here and I get to visit him and my niece and my nephew and my sister for Thanksgiving. I get to actually be able to have off Black Friday, so I get a nice 4 day weekend visiting my family. We luckily, I think this year we're not cooking anything. We're going to be ordering food from Cracker Barrel, I believe. I think my dad's already done it. We're just going to chip in a little bit and stuff because it's just this year we want to spend more time with the family, hang out, play some board games, do some video gaming, watch movies, and talk about old times and things instead of spending time in the kitchen cooking. We do that every year, and it's kind of nice to be able to have a good break. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope that you all have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. I wonder what y'all were looking forward to. What kind of food? Here's the question of this episode. What is your favorite Thanksgiving item that is made and it has to be on the table for you to declare it to be an official Thanksgiving moment or a dinner? Um, for me, there's staples that we have to have, and one of them is my dad's cornbread stuffing. It's great. I make it every year, usually for my wife's family. Typically it's, we're either here or we're up at my dad's. We've hosted it quite a few times. I think the last time we hosted was probably pre-COVID. Um, so it means my grandparents were here and there wasn't all the nonsense and drama. That's a whole other thing. But no, it's always good. It used to be one of those things where we would have Thanksgiving lunch at my grandparents, and then we would head over to my Uncle Gene's and have Thanksgiving with my dad's side of the family. And so I got to hang out with my cousins. We usually would play games, board games, and talk about movies and just old times, funny stories all the time. But yeah, no, we always have a good time. But after my uncle passed, we kind of we never really kind of got the family back together because my uncle was the glue that kind of held everything together. It's one of the things that I think I would love to be able to take up the mantle again. It would just be really hard for my dad to make the trip down, and then my sister could be able to be arranged to come down as well. It would have to be something where I would have my dad's side of the family down and or over, at least the cousins, maybe my friends. Because as you get older and as being 40, or well, me 42 and my friends starting to hit 40, especially my close friends that I grew up with, you know, our families are getting older. Some of them are passing away, and uh so you got to make those new transitions and well, not really transitions, but you got to make those traditions is what the word I'm looking for the next generation, your kids, my kid, my niece and nephew, and something that they would look forward to and cherish and hopefully pass on to the next generation. And yeah, I mean, it's always been fun. It's always been right after, Halloween. It was one of the ones I always look forward to the most, was just being able to get to be around your family. It's funny too, because you have a standard of like how you feel certain food should be. And when you're introduced to your family members cooking, or your in-laws cooking, it's like, no, 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 I'll take care of the cooking. I will do the ham, the turkey, the whole nine yards, and you guys will have a great Thanksgiving. And a lot of it's because, for my dad, he raised us to, when we make food, you make it flavorful, you make it um something that everyone can enjoy, not bland, so that way, you can put salt and pepper and season it yourself. Defeats the purpose. um you know but I get it. Some people have like health things that they got to worry about, and they got to worry about too much salt or pepper, or just certain spices. But yeah, the my dad's stuffing would be definitely one of the ones that I enjoy. That's got to be on the table. My If either my dad or me make a honey baked ham, that's got to be there. Uh, we do that every year. I think that was funny. Is like the first time I did that for my wife's family. They were, oh my god, this is so good. It didn't survive like the night, I don't think, because my dad used to work for Honey Baked Hams, and he learned the recipe, and he gave passed it on to me, and yeah, I can make that ham taste like candy. Um, and it's always something that we look forward to more than turkey. Turkey's good, but it's like one of those things that, because of I can't remember the thing inside a turkey that makes it to where you want to pass out. But it's like, that's not what you want to do. You don't want to just gorge yourself on food and you just pass out, because then you're not getting to spend time with your family, maybe your friends. You miss out on those good things. But as we get older, of course, too much starches and too much things will make you pass out regardless of what you're eating. Um, but yeah, those two things mostly. I think the one thing I missed, and I'm glad I know the recipe, was my grandmother's cauliflower casserole. Fantastic, delicious. And then, my sister makes a really good sweet potato casserole with like pecans and graham crackers, and it's almost like a pie dessert on its own. And it's excellent. Plus, she makes great pies. That's a whole other thing, because pumpkin pie is great. But I'm always hoping my sister's going to make her apple pie. Oh my God, it's so good. Sorry, I know that I'm probably making you guys like salivate from like talking about food, but it's definitely something that, like, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to just having a good time, and getting away, and kind of leaving the stresses of the world and of things that we deal with outside my home and my dad's home. I don't want any drama. I just want to go and have a good time. I definitely probably will be streaming Thursday, uh, Thanksgiving night. I'd probably pick up right off where I left off from Alan Wake. Uh, Alan Wake 2 is really good. Looks visually amazing. Um, but I finished RoboCop, platinumed it, and then I started playing Star Ocean Second Story R today. I am maybe a couple hours in, probably a little bit more than that, because I've been playing it for a while and I like the grind in the game. I think I'm level 16 or 17. Um, but I love RPG. I'm always a big fan of any kind of RPG, as long as it's got a really good story. And it's been a long time since I played Star Ocean 2. Um, but what are you guys looking forward to? What are some of y'all's memories with Thanksgiving? And I know that I missed I do not miss. I miss, going to my uncle's and seeing my papa, before he passed, and uh him being like, give me some sugar. Anytime his grandkids were there, it's like, come give me a kiss, give me a hug, because I miss you guys. And um, that love, that appreciation and joy that you could see he got from us when we were younger. And I'm glad that he got to know me up until man, what was I? I was 21. No, I was probably 20 or 21 when he passed. So I gotta look. But that was hard, we getting that call that my grandfather had a stroke when he was driving, because he was a truck driver, he would haul freight across the country, come back home, want to spend time with the family. My dad and me and my sister would always go over to his trailer and stuff and see him and visit. And you know, when he had his stroke and stuff, he was in the hospital for a bit, and he couldn't talk. You could see he was there. Um, and we'd try to visit him in the nursing home that he was in. But when he went, it was hard. It was really hard for my sister because um, she knew, and she was at school at the time. So when she got the call, she was devastated. We all were. Um, it's one of those things, being thankful to be able to have the memories of these great, amazing people that have impacted your life and make you who you are. And it's why it's so important for me for doing that for my son and trying to get him away from some of the things that he likes to, really dive into and, zone out the world. But it's one of the things as parents we got to try to make sure that we help guide them in the right direction. Um, they may not understand it right now, but they will in years later. In time, they can they'll get it. They'll have those nostalgia moments. And it's okay, to live in the present, but remember the past. And missing those moments that were so great and funny, and uh that's why it's so important. Like for my dad, I want to make sure that we're there for him, and I want to make sure that my son gets to spend a lot more time with him. Because I got to build those memories. As much as I want my dad to be here forever, um I know eventually things will happen. But I gotta cherish those moments and record them and make sure I archive them, regardless if it's for me or my family. Um, and I'm thankful for all you guys that watch my content and become friends and uh like to watch what I do along my way. Well, for what I can. Um, I'm very passionate about what I love, and I uh I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy every moment because that's who I am. I'm gonna for this year I want to make sure that every year that we get to spend more time with my dad and my family, my friends, because you never know. Nothing's ever guaranteed. You gotta live in the moment, and you got to do it more than just for yourself. Um, a lot of people do things and they do it for selfish reasons. They do it only for themselves. They don't think about the others. I mean, the other people in their life. And, if you ever help somebody out, at least for me, I do it out of the kindness of my heart. I don't want anything back. I don't expect anything back other than just you knowing that I'm there for you. Because you can't take any of this with you. And, being someone who doesn't believe in, religion and God and all that stuff, it's like I try to make every day that I can and every moment I live the best it can be, uh, and be true to who I am, and don't abuse the gifts that I'm given or the chances I'm given. I know that I spent 17 years working for a company that I really put everything in, and I got grays, I got stress, depression. I got overweight, unhealthy, just because I needed to, one for one, support my family and also try to, do what's right for what I felt was right at the time. I worked a lot of hours and I put a lot of effort into what I did, and I didn't get appreciated for it. I didn't, it's just a job. These guys, you know, my manager at the time, knew what I can do. It's just like the outside over executives and things like that would completely stop people from getting promotions and things. And um, I learned that, I'm going to do my job, but I'm not going to kill myself to do my job. I'm not going to let it linger because I want to be here for my family. I want to be here for my friends. I I want another 40 years. I mean, I'd love to live forever, even though that's a stupid thing to wish for. Because being alone and watching your family and loved ones die, would suck ass. Uh, but I don't know. I didn't mean to make this a downer episode. I wanted this to be more upbeat, and I don't want to keep down this whole track record of me putting on like emotional beats or whatever, or being negative. It's just as you get older, you really start to kind of reflect on your life and your decisions, and um, sometimes you hold on to regrets that of things that you should have done or shouldn't have done. But then, realizing that if you didn't make the decision, those people and other things in your life that you care about now may not be here. I would never change anything. I just hope I can make the next journey of my life more fulfilling, and surrounded by great people and people that make me happy. And I want to do everything I can for my wife and my son and make sure that they have what they need and they're happy. um it's a give and take. uh and we got to look at, like, I got to look at the future. I got to look at, like, where we're going to be in the next 10 years. Whether it's going to be, I got to move to help my dad because of his health, and then we could help him, which I'd have to, I guess, find a new job and things like that. But it's not to that point yet. I mean, I talk to him just about almost every day, and I just worry about, like, just things that happen. You know, um, he's getting skin grafts on his legs because he hurt it, and luckily everything is healing right. And but it's like there's a chance that he could get cellulitis again and then get a staph infection. And I'm like, just because of what happened to him in 2019, and then having to have that last resort antibiotics that basically like kills your white blood cell count or whatever. And um, you're at the risk of everything, so you have to completely rebuild. um, there's been some scares this year that I'm worried about my wife. There's scares I'm worried about for myself. I gotta make sure I go get, even though I've been doing things and I'm trying to be healthy, and I want to lose weight, and I want to be here for a long time, I still have to make sure that I take care of myself. Um, and these are all things that, like, for right now, that the moments I have, I'm very thankful that everything is going as well as it can. And I don't overwhelm myself with things that I can't control. I just do the best I can. Um, uh, but I got to look at, like I said, I got to look at where we're going to be. I got to, whether we need to buy a house and make sure that we take care of things, because I know that we can't be in this house forever. And we got to, there's too much stuff that we need to do. It needs a lot of work, and we've outgrown it. If we ever have another baby, which I'd love to have a girl, totally would love to have a girl. Um, we would definitely need another room. Um, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to taking some board games up to my dad's, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm probably gonna stream Alan Wake. I'm gonna take Dead Island 2 up there with him because that was one of the games I picked up that was on sale uh for the pre-Black Friday stuff on Amazon. And you know, just be like it was, 10 years ago or before that, you know, visit my dad and my family and just getting away from all the nonsense. Um, what else am I thankful for? I'm thankful for having a roof over my head. I'm thankful for my friends and family. I'm thankful for the job I have. Um, I enjoy it. Um, I'm not going to say I don't get stressed out, but who doesn't get stressed out with their job, especially if you're not doing technically what you want to do. Um, and that's how it is about being an adult. Or a parent, you do things that you don't want to do that provide money and things for your family. So you can enjoy the things, you can enjoy the time you get. Um, we were cleaning the house this week, and I one of the things I didn't get to do that I wanted to do, and I'm probably going to do that tomorrow. If we don't, well, I'll probably do that tomorrow after before we podcast. Since my dad, sorry, since my son and wife are off this week for the holiday, they got a couple things they're going to do during the day before I come home, and then I probably want to hook up the Xbox. Well, I have the hook. I have the Xbox hooked up, but what I want to do is probably play some Minecraft. I want to sit down and play a couple games with my son. Um, I gotta start doing more than I have been lately. Not that I don't. It's just sometimes you can get wrapped up in everything, work, life, the crushing weight of everything that you can't control. um, and I want to make him have some good memories. And which I've already said. I want to because we have a world that we created that we've created a kind of a underground bunker that goes into the water. It's pretty awesome. Um, and I want to go back to it. I want to go and revisit this moment that we have. Um, and that's the other thing too. I told him, as soon as he finishes his room, I'm gonna put in my extra. Well, technically, it's the Xbox One X in his room, so he can play stuff. Um, just so he can do something off the tablet. I mean, he has a Switch, and it's like, come on, you can play other games. Why are you playing Roblox? And I'm going back to that again. And I'm that's the thing is I'm trying to get away from keeping saying these things because I don't want to sound like a broken record. Um, but it's really important to get your child out of the things that prevent them from experiencing more. I want to get him out of his comfort zone so he can understand sometimes you can't control every situation, but you can learn to adapt. You can roll with the punches, and things will work out as long as you have a level head, as long as you have like multiple ways out on things. Um, man, there's nothing you can't accomplish. Uh, there's things that I know, and then I forget because you get wrapped up. Sometimes you forget the things that you've learned because you've had to like learn other things that make you efficient in what you're doing, but you forget like the joys of other things. Maybe it's like you never forget to how to ride a bike, but sometimes you can unlearn how to speak and to articulate your words because you may work in a job where you don't really interact with anybody, and that can be difficult because you may be in a position where like you have no commonality with anybody that you work with. And yeah, it's one thing to work and do your job and talk about the things, but sometimes to make the time go by faster or better, you know, being able to talk about things that you are passionate about kind of help outweigh some of the difficulties and things that you're dealing with. Because I have a really good friend, Nakia, that um started working at my old job. Oh, man, like what, 8 years ago? Hell, I gotta ask him. It's been a while. We've been friends for a while. And we've had our ups and downs, and but we're really good friends. And he just came over because uh my wife's aunt is like part of this neighborhood community thing, and she gets from time to time food pantry stuff that she distributes to the neighborhood or to the schools. And so Friday, that's what my wife went to go do, is she went to go and call people to come pick up stuff because they had like ham and sweet potatoes and a bunch of bread, rice, fruit, watermelon. I mean, it was just like all over the place of stuff that they had. And we had to make sure we got it. And so when I was talking to Nakia about it, he's preparing food for his church that he goes to. And we had like bags of sliced ham, like chunks, like, and we gave him like 3 bags and rice and a bunch of other things to be able to help with the food that he's preparing for the church. And we try to do all these things to help out people, and because families are struggling, and it doesn't help. I mean, you go, and what used to be $150 to to get groceries, or 200, is now almost $400-500. And you got to think, like, for me, it's just me, my wife, and my son. I can only imagine like a family of 7, or 6 or 5, trying to make ends meet, especially if maybe one of the family members don't work. Um, it's a cool thing that my wife does on the side. Um, it Unfortunately, it's one of those things where you volunteer. It's not you don't get paid for it. But you do it out of the kindness of your heart. You do it because of what's right. Um, some people, and just seeing the smiling faces on kids and parents and stuff, like knowing that they're going to have extra food for their kids, and especially right here with Thanksgiving, like literally right around the corner. And what, 4 days away, 5, yeah, 4 days away. um and that's the thing. It's like I love like helping people, and that's one of the why I kind of went into the IT side of things, because I love troubleshooting issues. I love solving a problem, especially in a critical situation. And even though it's hectic and you're trying to figure it out, um, it's always good to be able to come in, be the superhero for the day, and you know, get things done. But it can also be difficult when you come into a situation and you have no clue what you're doing. And it's like, all right, what's going to be my saving grace? Google, YouTube, my team, and hopefully one of those three helps out. Um, and then you figure it out, and then you're good to go. Um, Man, like I'm just I'm very glad because it's very rewarding. It may not be like something that, like, I guess there's a I get paid for my job, but um the best reward is like the being able to help somebody through what's going on. This past week was pretty good. Went by really fast. I We ended up watching Clue. on Saturday. Love that movie. It's I was telling the guys this is like a staple in my house. I mean, Tim Curry, Christopher Lloyd, such great cast. The whole like multiple endings. Um, love it. And it's hard, seeing like some of these actors that you watched and looked up to, and as they're getting older or having complications and or have passed away, and it kind of even hits home. It's like this was a part of your life, and then it's slowly just going away. It's like you'll never get to see some of these actors on screen again unless you watch some of their older movies. You think of like Sean Connery stopping, completely quitting acting and stuff, and we didn't get to see him anything after a certain point. I think what League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was his last one. That was horrible. Compared to like the comic it was based off of. Um, and that's the thing too, is like with music and things or anime, you hope that you can pass the torch for these things that we cherished, like from the 80s and 90s, so that that legacy can continue. But then you wonder, like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure there was people that did the same thing with movies from the 20s or 30s or 40s, and like my wife's grandfather, um, big into like Roy Rogers and um the old Perry Mason and like the Hercule Poirot and all that stuff. He loved it. And it's like kind of where I am with like everything from the mid 70s to 80s, 90s, 2000. Definitely something we want to talk about on the podcast, like uh the legacy of some films and TV television shows and how it transcends like now versus like movies or compared to movies of today. Will they have the same magnitude for that generation that watches it? um because the world's changing. The perspective on things are changing. We're at a point right now where we're going to go completely digital with everything. um it's like retail stores are going to completely remove physical media. I think Omega Ace and me and Tylord and Ryan, Retro Ryan, were talking about the fact that like you can look at Best Buy with their Black Friday deals. They got stuff just like $10 because they're trying to get rid of it because they're going to move away from all of it. We're totally going to a completely digital land space, almost in the way of Ready Player One. We haven't got that virtual uh, headset reality that people are going to go into, but um, the digital landscape is set up for it. Um, Man, it's like so games are going to change. I know we're going to get to the point where graphics may be so realistic that we're just going to have actors playing characters and stuff, and they're just going to digitize them in. Um, I don't know, just speculation, but then again, you have a boom of the indie games, and that's a podcast on its own that definitely needs some more dedication than just me rambling on about it. The downside to this week, my my wife's aunt's husband, Ken, his oldest brother passed away. Um, and then we're supposed to be having his funeral on the second. Um, we should be back in town hopefully by then because we got a wedding we're going to that on the first. So that Friday we're going to a wedding and then we'll be going to a funeral. Um, and then I think there was something else that happened too, and it's just like really kind of puts things in perspective, or at least makes you think. Uh, so cherish every moment you get with your friends and family. Um, for those that are not too far gone from your the people that you care about, you know, or maybe you just moved apart, you know. Just take the time to reach out to a friend or a family member you haven't talked to in a while. You know, see how they're doing because you may never have that second chance. My dad was always there for us. He got custody for us. He sacrificed everything for me and my sister to make sure that we became great people and you know, with good heads on our shoulders and um but I wouldn't change it. And I'm looking forward to getting to spend more time with him. And I got to have him more on the podcast, and I need to have him ranting about what's going on with Disney and all that stuff because God, there's some stupid stuff going on. Um, I wish they would just sell Star Wars and Marvel. I'd like Sony to get the rights to Marvel, and we were going to talk about this on a podcast, but because what they're doing with Spider-Man seems to be really good, and it's going to be funny if like Madam Web movie does so well across the board and it breaks records within the numbers that it would be like kind of like a jab at Disney with how bad Marvels was. Um, because it's like you don't need all this paint by numbers garbage when you're writing a movie. You just need good stories. You need believable characters. People don't need to be reminded of things that got going on in their lives. They don't need to be reminded of things that are stupid in general, that have no bearing in reality or society. Uh, it's one of those things that I want to teach my son, like the fundamentals of storytelling and why it's important. These things that were such a big inspiration for all of us growing up. That helped us have dreams and become writers or YouTubers or comic book writers or artists and um, video game developers. Or, you have guys that, I have a friend that became a firefighter. I have a friend that's a nurse. I have a friend that's a paramedic. Uh, I have a couple friends that were in the military. I have friends that are across the board of different things that they do. And, either it fuels their hobby, it is reflective of their hobby. It or what they enjoyed helped them move into a direction of things that they ended up doing. Um, but yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm rambling. I had like an idea of what I wanted to talk about. I think I got it across. Um, take the time. Just cherish the moments you have with your family and your friends and be thankful for what you got. And you know, show that love and be there for the people that need it. We all got things going on. We're all going through different walks of life. We're all struggling, whether it's mental, physical, financial, um, whatever. And it's how we take the information, process it, roll with it, and move forward. We may stumble across the way, but we pick ourselves up back up. We dust ourselves off. And, you could be some people that say, hey, I meant to do that. Or, you just like, I made a mistake. Now I'm going to correct it. I mean, Bob Morton made a mistake. No, sorry. RoboCop reference. Anyway, and I couldn't even get the line out right. But yeah, just find something this year at Thanksgiving that takes you back to a time that made you really happy and make new memories. Take the time to, experience something new or experience something you haven't done in a long time. And enjoy the food. Don't gorge yourself, but definitely make sure that you know, get your fill, because we won't have this kind of meal again until Christmas. uh Usually some Christmases are different with what people have, but a lot of times it's like, oh, hey, it's Christmas, we're having Thanksgiving food again. Dang it. Can we have something different? Maybe Chinese. Um but yeah, I guess the question for this week is that like I said at the beginning of the episode, you can tell me that and tell me what you're thankful for. Leave it down in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, stumbled across this because of the YouTube algorithm or whatever recommended, I do thank you. Please give this a like. And then, if you enjoy what I do, give me a sub. It helps validate that I'm doing something well. But it also, helps with the channel. And just be safe, everyone. And I'll catch you next week. Peace out, guys.